First of all, are you enjoying Dubrovnik, the conference?
Yes.
A lot of people from around the world talking about certain issues. How connected are we actually, no matter which country we're coming from?
Well, I think it's an interesting question. I don't think it's a question of how connected you are. I think it's a question of where Dubrovnik wants to see itself in the future in the media world. And I think by hosting a conference like this, where it's so clearly focused on the emerging media, the new Europe media, I think you're sending a very strong signal to where you see yourself. Mm-hmm. And it's not really a look back as to what we are or are we connected. It's, This is what we see happening. Mm-hmm. Just take a look around who's come and who's attended the conference, the speakers that you have, the experience that comes in here. It's a signal to the importance that people are giving this conference.
Mm-hmm. Is it all talk, or do things get done? For all the people who are not familiar with doing conferences like this.
A lot of it, I guess, will come down to what the delegates actually do.
Oh, right.
It's how much you take away from this and how much you actually use. But I think the topics which are being discussed have been chosen that there is a lot of discussion and debate with enough scope for action as follow-up. But how much of that gets done is down to execution, which no one can control. But that's what I don't think it's all talk.
Good. That's a good thing. Your panel was first-class service in the multi-screen world. How hard is it to cater to people that want more and more on a daily basis?
There are two parts to that. One is, yes, the straight answer is it is tough to cater to them because as service standards are increased in whatever service you buy, the same expectation happens in our industry. But the reason it's tougher for us is, number one, the expectation is not very clear. When I buy insurance, I know what exactly I'm buying.
Right.
When I buy banking, I know when I'm buying a pipe coming into my house, I'm not very clear what I'm buying. I want 20 channels, I expect those 20 channels.
Right.
If today it becomes 19, I want a van outside my door in 10 minutes. Now that's unreasonable.
Right.
Okay? So just what I try to say, just as much as we try and raise the service levels, I think we've got to raise what consumers want to expect so that the decision they make when they subscribe is an informed one. Because it's got to cater to what they really need and not what we're able to give them.
How did expectations change in the last 5 years? Because technology-wise, we're having more and more progress on a daily basis now. Social networks, technology in general. How do you anticipate what will people want and need tomorrow, the day after tomorrow?
You know, it's curious. One of the research companies had done some work on this in the past 8 years back, or maybe 5 years back, I forget when, 5 years back. And they actually said, what is the level of IT adoption in Central Europe? That's one of the few things that didn't go down when the crisis hit. And the reason that didn't go down, according to this research company, is people buying IT products bought into the promise of a better future.
Oh.
Right? Now, expand that a little bit more. This is probably the only technology in the world where as we progress, prices actually drop.
Right.
Okay, you get a better car, you're going to pay more for it.
Of course.
Okay, if I get a higher internet speed, I expect to pay less because that's the expectation behind this technology. So the challenge for a service provider is to manage the expectation of a better product performance
for less money.
For less money, with an improved customer service. Now that's not an easy thing to solve, but that's what we're
It sounds crazy actually to people who don't know what you do. Actually, to just tell them what you do, what you need to do. It's like, why would you want to do something like that? But yeah, it's something that's very logical in terms of television and content and what people want. What do you do when you're watching television? It's a very funny question because usually when you ask someone what you do when you're watching television, the answer 20 years ago would be 10 years ago would be, well, I'm watching television. What do you do when you're watching television?
I hardly ever watch live television.
Really?
Okay. I've got a DVR, so all my TV watching is after the program's over. And so that allows me to watch it when I feel like it, when I have the time to do it, and when I can, forgive me, when I can fast forward the commercials. Okay? That's when I watch it. So there are a few programs I watch, and that's what I do.
And when you watch the programs that you want to watch at the time that you want to watch it at, what else do you do at the same time? Do you multitask?
I'm focused on that because I watch it when I have time for those programs.
No Twitter, no Facebook, nothing?
I'm not on Facebook.
Really?
No.
It's like you don't exist.
Well, the guys who know I exist know how to reach me. So.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Dubrovnik.